Righto, I'm just going to have a look at this chattering noise in the back of my 62. It's a bit of a weird one. Righto, here's the lowdown. Since I broke the rear axle drive shaft, at the same time that seal was playing up in the side of the diff there, which makes sense because that is where the shaft broke, so it was flopping around a bit. So I replaced the seal. It had lost a little bit of oil, so I topped up the oil in the diff. Same time I changed that drive shaft out, because I had a new one to put in, because I thought that originally was the problem. I put these arms in all the same time. Now back to the issue I've got at the moment is only with the big tyres on, the Nittos on, and when that right hand side's unloaded, so if I'm turning right, so if I'm with the traffic lights turning right, it makes a chattering noise in the back. And I was like, what is that? It's just a brrr sort of noise. And the thing is, when it gets warm, I only just worked out that when it gets warm, the noise goes away. And it didn't click for a while that it was only when it was cold. And then I thought, right, the only thing that should change when it's cold is the diff oil. Now, when the diff oil was slightly low, I just topped it up with this stuff, which is what the Penrite site says. You can buy the Nissan oil, but they sell it in lots of 20 for like $400, lots of 20 litres. So I wasn't going to buy that. So I topped it up with this. Now, I'd say what's happened, and what we're thinking after talking to a couple of mechanics, the brain's trust, is that maybe the oil's mixed and this oil just doesn't like the other oil, and that's the issue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drain the oil out of the diff and completely fill it with this stuff. Right, I'll get into it. I don't think it's too hard to drain. I drain that plug just there, and the fill one is up through, where's my finger? There it is. That hole there is just the same. That's the one to fill it, and it actually fills quite easy through these bottles because they have this squirty thing. Anyway, let's get amongst it. Once again, I was using tools that are already in my kit. If there's tools I find I need that aren't in my kit, then I add them to the kit. So I can do this without making a mess, eh? Please. There's a 10mm Allen key. Okay, looks like oil. Still looks reasonably honey coloured. I don't know what colour the standard Nissan oil is, so no idea. Anyway, it's got 30,000 Ks on it, so 35,000. Pretty sure there's been no water in the diffs. I've checked the oil after cape and all that, and it was fine. So any crap should have stuck on that, and there was no crap on that. That's really good, especially after breaking an axle. You're always worried that any part could have got back in, but where the axle broke was on the outside of the bearing, and I put the two bits of axle back together, and they were like, there were no bits missing, there were no chunks missing. If they were, I guess they would have ended up on that. That looks pretty clean. When it's really thick, it looks black, but it looks pretty clean. Be interesting to see if this fixes my little chatter. I'll be really happy if it does. Probably should have got the diff warm, gone for a drive, but I couldn't be bothered putting it back together to drain the oil. I should have, but you know, it's pretty thin, should drain out okay, should get 99% out of it. If you go for a drive, obviously get it warm, it just drains out heaps easier because it's thinner. Blah, blah, blah. While it's draining, let's take this other one out. I'll get that through there. That'd be nice if I could, but I don't know if I will. Oh. That might be enough just to crack it, because it's going to be easier to crack it there than through here. So I'll just crack that. Now apparently this takes 2.3 litres, so this little sucker here is 2.5 litres. I must have another one here. No grit in there, that's always good. Now you're asking, why am I not putting it up on the hoist? I probably should, but this is a 3-ton hoist and the car weighs 3 ton, so I'm not going to put it up on the hoist all the way. I know I can fall from here just as easy from there, but I'm like, yeah, nah. So I've got another hoist coming. When you know it's nearly full, obviously slow right down because otherwise it's going to go everywhere. It is. Not bad. Look. Test drive. And it's raining, so the diff's not going to be working hard for them while it's raining anyway, so it probably won't chatter. Anyway, I will carry on regardless. Other jobs to do. Well, after all that, changing the oil, didn't so I've still got a noise coming from here. I'll quickly chuck it in the shed and see if there's any temperature. Get the infrared gun out, see if there's any temperature on anything, and I'm still slightly confused. Oh, let's see if there's any temperature that shouldn't be in anything. Just out of curiosity. Look out, dog. No, hey, go away. 26, 32, 35. Right, now this is the bit I'm thinking about. CV 40. What's this one? 47. Now the reason I'm looking at that, I don't know, 43. These infrared things aren't that accurate, but anyway. Oh, next step I think. I'll change the CV. It's the only other thing I can think of is that CV shaft. I'll just change that in case it's got a click in it, but it goes away like nearly straight away. So I went for a drive then, and the first time I pulled out of the intersection at the traffic lights, stopped, turned right while it was cold, click, 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 click. Did it on 3 corners, so 2 corners and a roundabout from a standing start, and then all right hand turns, and then didn't do it again. Righto. So I've decided to change this rear CV shaft. I think it is the diff making the noise. I've just had a chat to a legend amongst the Y62 repair world, and he tells me he runs 80, I think it was 85 140 oil in the diff. So I am going to try that. It might be with this much load on it with these big soft tyres, because when I put the other tyres on it doesn't seem to do it. So these big soft sticky tyres just make the diff work a bit. So I think I will change the oil to that next time, but for now I'm going to change this shaft because it needs to be changed anyway. So let's have a little look. Excuse all the grunting and groaning, a bit crooked today. This is fun. Oh yeah. Go try and get this out. It's actually a lot easier to do with the wheel off, but you can get it out. It's just annoying. Same deal, then bend it back up over this way. Chinese puzzle, there you go. Right. Pull the bits in here. The cap comes off. Now, that's just the retaining device. Rightio. This is where it turns. Right, go. Alright, just be a bit careful getting out, see how to drop in your head. Out and out. Oh. There you go. Oh. I suppose it's normal. I wonder if that's the noise I've got. Huh. The other one does that. No, that one doesn't do that. Wow, interesting. That might be my noise, but why would it go away when it's hot? Interesting. Righto. Is this one going in? Wow, look how far back the CV boot is. That's interesting. Look at that. Righto. This CV boot on this one's right up there on the groovy bit, and this one is way back past the lump. That's interesting. Oh, let's chuck it in and see what transpires. I take it out anyway to fix that little tear, which I can't even see now. Oh yeah, there it is, eh? I can feel it. Right, we'll put this one in. Trying to do that without breaking the phone. Move that back over there. Oh, there you go. So when you relax, it just slips in. Okay. There we go again. Cable ties again. So old mate, when I got the lift done and the new boots put in, not only is that sitting past that ridge there where it normally sits on, it's sitting way past it, which means when it goes like that, it's stretched out a lot more, but he might have done it on purpose. Not quite sure, but either way, it's split, and then the new ones are meant to split, so. So he's put a tie on the outside, but a cable tie on the inside. Not quite sure why you do that. BT741. Let's Google that shit. I need my phone, sorry. Look how minute this hole is that the grease, I saw the grease coming out of. Tiny. Anyway, we're going to rip the boot off and have a look. Yeah, see, there's the lump. There's the lump. That's on the outside of it. Not sure why, but normally it would sit there and the rubber gets squished into that a bit. I would have thought. Anyway, it might be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Righto, well, not much grease in there, is there? Feels, well, that feels shit. There you go, that feels pretty ordinary. Wow. I don't know if they get heat treated, but that actually looks like it's been really hot. So I wonder if it's the same grease in that end. So that's the Nissan one. Anyway, I'm going to pull it apart now. I can clean that all up, put some new grease in it. There's no reason for it to do that while I'm driving. So even that sounds like the noise. I can't think of why that shaft would want to move inside and out. Unless the tyre, as it's getting grip, is just shuddering the wheel a bit. In which case it could do that. Anyway, don't mind me rambling on. This is more notes for myself for in future. Might ask all my mechanic mates next time we're around for a beer, see what they reckon. Moment of truth. Has my wheel rattle gone? Time will tell. Woo! That's one corner. I really wanted a red light here, but anyway, I'll slow right down. You done. Righto. That was our problem. That was our problem. It was the CV. Dry as. And yeah, that bit of movement in the CV. There you go. I'm going to lube it all up and use it as a spare because it was actually still ran okay. It was I just took it that to Land Cruiser Park and was doing a heap of dumb stuff at Land Cruiser Park, and we had wheels off the ground and, you know, blah blah, all the usual, and the CV was fine. So it's not actually broken, it's just, I don't know if it's just the fact that it was all dry and horrible or what. But next question is, why was it dry? Because that's the one I got new boots put on when the lift was done, so I'm a bit sus on why it was so dry. And I'm also going to add that to my list every couple of years, I suppose, to re-grease them. Just pull the boots back and re-grease them all anyway, because, you know, that's weird. Oh well, I'm like a regular Sherlock Holmes. A mechanic probably would have fixed that in 10 minutes, but anyway, that's life. But I'm a pretty happy man because that was starting to bother me. Yeah, you think about things like, have I done something to the diff and blah blah blah, but there you go, happy days. Right, when I was putting oil in that, I mentioned the Penrite site. This is just the app for on the Penrite little app for your phone that goes through, and you can put your rego in and you can keep your car documented on there anyway. But yeah, you just add your rego and Queensland, blah blah blah, 62 fatty, and it should come up with my car. Yep, there it is. You click on that and it comes up with choice your diff oil, and there you go, comes up with that one. Having said that, I'll probably try the, I think it's 9140 next time, but anyway. Well, that was a fun little exercise, but I'll just show you this CV. Right, I got CVs everywhere here. This is CVs out of the Z. It must be CV week. Rightio. So I was saying how dry it looked. Now let's get over here. A bit of a grub. That's pretty lazy, isn't it? Rightio. See the colour of that? See if you can tell. Now, where's a rag? Where's a rag? There's a rag. Here's a rag. See, you can see it's just got a slight. Don't know if you can really see it in the light. Hang on, turn this one on. Yeah, it's just got ever so slight brown tinge, which usually indicates that it's been a bit warm. Now, when I put the gun on it, you saw it was like 10 degrees hotter than the other one. But the stupid thing is, it's only just been running for, not long at all. It only been done like 5 corners and come home. So there you go. The fact that was dry and felt horrible seemed to have been the problem. So I'm pretty convinced of that, because every time I was taking off it was doing it, so now it's not. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to re-grease this one, as I said, and just reuse it as a spare only, because it's not broken, and I've proven it last week. So anyway, there you go. Right, that's it. Another chat about dumb stuff.